This is number 72 rhythm rap on page 21. In this one, we are looking at a new type of rhythm that includes both quarter notes and eighth notes. We will go through, we'll count through this, we will clap or pat our leg, and then we'll also bow it. Because it's just a rhythm rap, we don't need to check for any key signatures or anything like that. We're in 4/4 time, 4 beats per measure, and the quarter note gets 1 beat. I also notice at the end of this that there's a repeat at the end of it so that I know I'm going to play through this one twice. I've even noticed that at the end of this piece, there is a rest with the little apostrophe indicating that when I do bow this, I'm going to lift at the end. If I'm looking through these rhythms, I'm noticing some rhythmic patterns that I already know. The very beginning, the first half of the first measure, I have the 1, 2, and rhythm, which is from page 20, and that is our run, pony rhythm. Run, pony, quarter, eighth, eighth. So I know that rhythm. The second half of the measure is different, however. It is not a run pony. The eighth notes come first, followed by the quarter note. I like to use the phrase apple pie for that. So if I were to speak through using word phrases, just measure 1, I might think to myself, run, pony, apple pie. Again, that apple pie is eighth, eighth, quarter. Apple pie, apple pie. So the first measure of number 72, let's kind of clap. I'm holding a violin, so I'm going to pat on my leg. But you can kind of clap or pat through. Just measure 1. 1, 2, measure 1. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I'm also counting through so that I'm looking at the counting and the rhythmic value of each of these notes. Let's do measure 1 one more time. Ready, here we go. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Don't forget to be subdividing in your head, where you're always thinking through the 1 and 2 and all the way, no matter if it's a quarter note or if it's the eighth notes. And again, one more time, if I were to speak through this measure using word phrases, I would say run, pony, apple pie. So now if we look at measure 2, this is a very familiar pattern. We had it on page 20 as well. And that pattern is our pepperoni pizza. Okay, so that rhythm we know, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Measure 3 looks just like measure 1. So that's another run, pony, apple pie. And then the last measure is almost, take a look, you'll notice, it is almost a pepperoni pizza, but we just have a rest at the end. So we have pepperoni pizza, and we rest on za. So let's go through this whole thing, just clapping, tapping. I'm going to count as well as use the word patterns. I'm going to interchange them. Remember, we repeat this, so we're going to go through twice. Clapping or patting on your leg, the rhythm for this rhythm rap. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 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 2, and 3. Rest. Repeat. Run, pony, apple pie, pepperoni pizza. Run, pony, apple pie, pepperoni pizza. Rest. Okay? So review those rhythms if you need to. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bow it on our open D string. Okay, if you are still struggling with those rhythms, you can pause the video, practice just clapping or tapping it again before you bow it. I'm going to be really thinking about my rhythm. My bow is moving in those same rhythmic patterns, those same word patterns that we just went through. I'm playing on my open D, so again, my left hand's on the shoulder. My bow hold is good, and here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, go. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, Good. Now let's try playing through that with the music. We're going to go through it just once, but remember there is the repeat where you have to lift your bow and reset it. Here we go.
Number 72, rhythm rap.
1, 2, ready, and... Rest. Good. So this one's a very good one to review as it's going to set you up for the next piece, Buckeye Salute. So if you're struggling with these rhythms, I would highly recommend that you go through this rhythm rap a few times before you move on to the next one. This is number 73, Buckeye Salute, on page 20. I would highly recommend that you make sure you have spent a little time on number 72, the rhythm rap, as the rhythms in that rhythm rap are the rhythms you're going to need in Buckeye Salute. If you haven't gone through that one, go back and review the rhythms there. First things first, I'm looking at the key signature in Buckeye Salute, and I'm noticing that it is in D major, meaning I have F sharp and C sharp. I see those two sharps at the beginning of the piece. I also am seeing that I have a tempo marking of moderato, which is an Italian word that means a medium tempo. We notice that on page 20. If I look through this piece, this one's a little challenging. There's some rhythm challenges as well as some note challenges. So we're going to go through this one. We're going to sing through our note names. We are going to practice different measures, and then we'll play it all together as one. So first things first, I always sing through my note names. So I am going to do that. We're going to go through the first line and the second line. We'll do the whole thing. So follow along and sing with me. Here we go. 1, 2, and ready, and D, 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 sharp, 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 B, 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 A, sharp, G, 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 sharp, sharp, D, E, 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 D, rest, next line, D, 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 E, 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 sharp, 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 G, B, A, B, B, D, sharp, 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 D, rest. Now what's tricky about this one is that we're not just going in stepwise motions up and down the scale. There are some jumps in there. For instance, in measure 2, I have B and then I have A, and you would think the next note is G, but it's not. I jump to F sharp, and then I go back to G and F sharp, and then in measure 3, I jump from F sharp to D. So let's go through those notes one more time, speaking the note names in rhythm or singing them, and really thinking about where the next note is and making sure we're not just going in order. I'm actually, even in guitar rest position on my violin, I'm going to move my fingers along while I sing, because that will help start getting me ready to play it. So you might try this too. Here we go. D, ready, here we go. D, 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 sharp, 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 B, 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 A, sharp, G, 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 sharp, sharp, D, E, 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 D, rest, D, 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 E, 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 sharp, 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 G, B, A, B, B, D, sharp, 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 D, rest. Now, if you are still struggling with those note names, I would pause the video here and go back and practice just getting comfortable with those note names and being able to read through this. There are a lot of things happening in Buckeye Salute. If you are doing well with the note names, then let's talk about the rhythm. So the rhythm, again, as I recommended, is similar, it's exactly the same, in fact, as the rhythm rap from number 72. And there I introduce the word phrases that I use when I play through these rhythm patterns. When I see a quarter note followed by 2 eighth notes, where I have 1, 2, and, I call that run, pony. Then, when I have the opposite pattern, 2 eighth notes followed by a quarter note, 1 and 2, I call that apple pie. So if I look at measure 1 in Buckeye Salute, I have run, pony, apple pie. Again, I have run, pony, apple pie. The second measure is one of my favorite phrases, which is pepperoni pizza. That's the 4 eighth notes followed by 2 quarter notes. We went through that on page 20, where we had that with number 66 and the whole piece titled Pepperoni Pizza, which is number 67. So again, if I look at these rhythmic patterns, those are basically the 2 patterns that I have. Measure 4 is the beginning of pepperoni pizza. I just don't have the za part. Pepperoni pizza. And that's the same thing with the last measure. Pepperoni pizza. So let's go through this one, and let's either, you can tap on your leg, you can see I'm tapping on my violin, you can tap out your instrument. Let's tap the rhythm while we speak our note names. Here we go. 1, 2, and ready, here we go. D, 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 sharp, sharp, sharp. B, 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 A, sharp. G, 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 sharp, sharp, D. E, 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 D, rest. D, 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 E, 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 sharp, 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 G, B, A, B, B, D, sharp, 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 D, rest. Let's try and pluck this now. If you're still working on the note names and the rhythm, that's fine. Pause the video here, rewind, go back through that with me, and then move forward. But we're gonna pluck it right now. So I've put my bow down. My instrument is up. I'm starting on that high D on my A string, where bass is on my G string. Here we go. Let's try plucking through this one. 1, 2, and ready, here we go. D, 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 sharp, sharp, sharp. B, 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 A, sharp. G, 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 sharp, sharp, D. E, 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 D, rest. D, 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 E, 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 sharp, 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 G, B, A, B, B, D, sharp, 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 D, rest. I'm thinking about those rhythmic patterns, my run pony, my apple pie, and my pepperoni pizza. We're gonna try bowing it now. If you're not ready to bow it, that is okay. Keep plucking it, pluck it a few more times, then add your bow. Here we go. This is actually, let's just do line 1. Just line 1 bowing. Here we are, 1, 2, and ready, and... Wait right there. Let's just do measure 2, where we have to go from B to A to F sharp. Can we try just measure 2? 1 and 2 and ready, here we go. Do that much again. Ready, here we go. Okay, pause and review that if you need to review that measure. Now let's take a look at line 2. Start on a down bow. 1, 2, line 2, ready, here we go. Apple measure I think is most challenging in line 2 is measure 3, especially for basses, because they have to shift right there. So let's do just measure 3, where we have A, B, B, D. Let's try it. 1, 2, and ready. Sorry, it's the third measure of the second line, so really it's measure 7. 1, 2, measure 7, ready, here we go. Do that one more time. Basses, get that shift. 1, 2, and ready, here we go. Okay? If you are having trouble with different measures, again, pause the video here, review the spots that are giving you trouble, try them 5 times in a row, then try and put that back in with the whole line. When you're ready, come back to the video and we're gonna play the whole thing through with the music. Here we go.
73. Buckeye
The tempo
Salute.
might be a little quick. 2, ready, and... Rest, lift. Rest. I know that one can be challenging, especially at that tempo. This is a really great one to spend a little time on because I think when you get it, you'll feel that great sense of accomplishment. So go back through the video, go back to plucking, go back to trying one measure at a time, finding the measures where you jump notes instead of going stepwise, and really put it all together. This is number 74, Rhythm Rap, on page 21. The very important thing to look at with the rhythm rap, and the reason for this whole piece, is to look at a new time signature. So make sure you're looking at the orange box just above number 74. And we have a new time signature that is 2, 4, 2 on top, 4 on the bottom. As you might remember, when a 4 is on the bottom, that is telling us what type of note is valued at 1 beat. And the one that we know that is 1 beat is a quarter note, and that's because there's the 4 on the bottom of the time signature. A quarter note equals 1 beat. The top number tells me how many beats are going to occur in each measure. So it's like, how high am I going to count before I go back to 1? For a lot of the measures we've had, for almost all of the pieces, we've had 4 beats in every measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But in a 2-4 time, we're only going to have 2 beats in every measure. So we're only going to count to 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, when I conduct it, I would go 1, 2, 1, 2. So this rhythm rap and the next 2 pieces after it are all in a 2-4 time signature. Again, meaning there's only 2 beats per measure. So when I look at the counting on this, I am going to make sure I don't count any higher than 2. I'm still going to subdivide my notes. That means I'm adding the ands in between and I'm thinking about those in my head so that I can keep my 1/8 notes and my quarter notes straight. Let's count and tap through this one. I'm going to tap on my legs since I'm holding my violin. Here we go. This is number 74, tapping and counting. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, 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 and 1, rest. And we're noticing the 1/8 notes. Remember, those each get 1/2 of a beat. We beam them together to make them easier to read. And we are only counting 2 beats per measure. So if you started to say 3 or 4, make sure you're thinking about that time signature and you go 1 and 2. The numbers are also written there for you. Let's try counting through that one more time. Counting, you can clap, pat on your legs, snap your fingers, whatever you'd like. 1, 2, 74, here we go. 1 and 2 and 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 1. Rest. Like we've done for all the other rhythm raps, I'm going to play this on my open D string. I'm still only counting to 2 and I'm thinking about my rhythm. Here we go. My left hand's on the shoulder because I don't need it out here. I have my good bow hold. My thumbs bent outward. 1, 2, 74. Here we go. 1, 2, and 1 and 2 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 and 1. Rest. Let's try it with the music.
74. Rhythm rap. There are 4 beats in this count-up.
So it's going to be 4, 2, 1, go. Good. We'll do it once more through. When they said there are 4 beats in the count off, that's to give you enough time to be ready. That's like 2 measures of rest in this time signature. 1, 2, 1, and go, and. So here we go, one more time. 2, 1, go. Good. This is number 75, 2 by 2 on page 21. If you haven't spent a moment on number 74, the rhythm rap, I would encourage you to do so, as it is the same rhythm as you're going to need for 2 by 2. As we talked about in number 74, we have a different time signature in this piece. This time signature is 2-4, meaning there are 2 beats per measure, not 4 as we're used to, 2 beats per measure, and the quarter note's going to get 1 beat. That's what the 4 on the bottom means. But the 2 on top tells me I have 2 beats per measure. As we usually do, let's go through and sing our note names in rhythm. Here we go. 1, 2, D, ready, here we go. D, D, sharp, sharp, A, G, G, sharp, sharp, E, E, G, G, sharp, sharp, E, E, D, rest. Let's do that one more time. Think about the rhythm. Make sure you're subdividing in your head, so you're thinking to yourself, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, to keep those quarter notes and eighth notes steady. We'll sing the note names one more time. Maybe you move your fingers along as well, so you're ready. 1, 2, and ready. Here we go. D, D, sharp, sharp, A, G, G, sharp, sharp, E, E, G, G, sharp, sharp, E, E, D, rest. Let's try plucking that. Here we go. Instruments up. I've put my bow down because we're going to pluck it first. 1 and 2 and 1 and ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. I'm subdividing in my head. I'm thinking the and, that eighth note beat. Thinking that eighth note in my head so that I'm ready when the eighth notes come up. Let's bow this one. 1, 2, here we go. I got my bow. 1, 2, and 1, and ready, and 1, and 2, and 2, and Make sure you're staying nice and steady and you have a good bow stroke. We'll do it once with the music.
75, 2 by 2. There are 4 beats in this count-off.
So 2 full measures. 2, 1, go. We'll do it one more time. 2, 1, and ready, This is number 76, Essential Elements Quiz for Pete's Sake, at the bottom of page 21. There are a couple important things to discuss before we start playing this one. First, we want to make sure that we notice the time signature. As with the pieces just before this, the time signature for Pete's Sake is 2-4, meaning there are 2 beats per measure, not more than that, so we're only counting 1, 2, 1, 2. 2 beats per measure. The 4 at the bottom tells me that the quarter note gets 1 beat. Additionally, I'm checking my key signature, as I always do. I'm noticing that I have F sharp and C sharp marked as sharps at the beginning of this piece. That puts me in the key of D major, and it reminds me that I should play all of my F sharps as F sharp and all of my C's as C sharp. Then I see a tempo marking that says moderato, which is a medium tempo. That's discussed on page 20. The very important thing is that For Pete's Sake introduces the idea of first and second endings. So the way this works, and you can see in the orange box, it says we're going to play the first ending the first time through. You'll notice there's a repeat at the first ending. The endings are marked by little bars. They kind of almost look like mathematical, almost like division signs, little brackets, and that shows the first ending. It's underneath the box that's labeled number 1. You'll see that there's a repeat underneath that at the end. When I get to the end of the first ending, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning of the piece. I'm going to repeat that section of the music all the way through. But this time, when I get to those endings, I'm going to skip all of the measures underneath the first ending, the box with the 1, and I'm going to jump to the box with the 2. So if I'm looking at the second line of music, follow along with me. I have A, and then B, B sharp, sharp, D, A, and then I have 2 measures that are quarter notes, and it goes B, A, G, E. The second time through, after that E, I'm going to jump all the way to the box with the 2. There's even a little dotted line showing you where to go. And I'll finish with D, D, E, E, D. And we'll review this as we play. I'll give you some reminders as we go. I'll call it out. Okay? First thing that we always do is we speak or sing our note names. So I'm going to go through that. We'll go through the whole thing. We do have to take the repeat because it ends differently between the first and the second ending. So here we go. This is For Pete's Sake. We're singing our note names. 1, 2, ready, and D, D, sharp, sharp, E, E sharp, E, rest, E, E, G, G, sharp, sharp, G sharp, rest, sharp, sharp, A, B, B sharp, sharp, D, A, B, A, G, E, first ending, A, B, A, back to the beginning, and D, D, sharp, sharp, E, E sharp, E, rest, E, E, G, G, sharp, sharp, G sharp, rest, sharp, sharp, A, B, B, sharp, sharp, D, A, B, A, G, E. Second ending, D, D, E, E, D. Rest. So hopefully you were able to follow along the different endings. You went through, we played the first ending, we repeated the music, and the second time through, we skipped the stuff under the one and we jumped to the second ending. This is a tricky piece. You might need to pause this video, spend a little time going through those note names again, practicing following along with your finger in terms of where that first and second ending is. So feel free to pause the video or rewind it and go through those note names again with me. I'm going to pluck this one all the way through right now while speaking my note names. Here we go. I'm not bowing yet, I'm just plucking, so I'm focusing on my note names and I'm reading the music. 1, 2, and 1, and ready, and D, D, sharp, sharp, E, E, sharp, E, rest, E, E, G, G, sharp, sharp, G, sharp, rest, sharp, sharp, A, B, B, sharp, sharp, D, A, B, A, G, E. First ending, A, B, A. Repeat, and D, D, sharp, sharp, E, E, sharp, E. Rest, E, E, G, G, sharp, sharp, G, sharp, rest, sharp, sharp, A, B, B, sharp, sharp, D, A, get ready, B, A, G, second ending, D, D, E, E, D, rest. So again, make sure you're following the roadmap and thinking about where you go for those endings. It can be tricky to remember to take the first ending and then to skip it the next time through. If you're still struggling with that, pause the video here and keep practicing it while plucking. Okay, additionally, there's some rhythm things that make this piece challenging. The difference between our quarter notes and our eighth notes, we have some run ponies in there. Okay, run ponies is that word phrase I love to use when it's a quarter note and 2 eighth notes. Run, pony, run, pony. So we have some run ponies in there. We're gonna bow through it. I'm gonna bow through it once without the music, then I'll do it with the music. If you need more time, pause, practice the spots that may need a little bit of extra help. Maybe you just want to practice line 2. Maybe you just want to practice doing the endings. In fact, before we play the whole thing, we're going to find line 2. We're going to do the first, second, third. We're going to start on the 4th measure of line 2. It's a B, and we're going to practice doing the second ending. So we're going to go B, A, G, E, D, D, E, E, D. We're going to practice just that while bowing. So I'm on the 4th measure of line 2. 1, 2, and ready, here I go. Second ending. I just want to practice being able to skip measures mentally, like visually. One more time, 2, ready, here I go. Rest. Now let's try bowing through the whole thing without the music to start. Here I go. Remember, 2 beats in every measure. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and. Pony, run, rest. Run, pony, rest. First ending, repeat, go. Rest. Rest. Here it is, second ending. Rest. So assess how you did. If there are spots that gave you trouble, pause, review just those spots. Maybe it's the measures where you had to jump to your A string, you had to do a string crossing. Maybe it's going from line 1 to line 2. Maybe it's going from the first ending and going back to repeat. And we're going to play it one time with the music. Here we go.
Essential Elements Quiz. For Pete's sake, there are 4 beats in this count-off.
2 measures. First ending. Repeat. Second ending. Okay, so that's a really challenging one. I'd encourage you to spend a few minutes going through that plucking, bowing along with the music, practicing that first and second ending and the repeat, as well as the notes in it. It's a really challenging piece, but it's a great one to learn.